Hey YouTube, how's it going? Nerdy Narwhal here, and I'm back again today taking a look at another Mythic Legions action figure. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Crowned Eagle himself, Eathyron, who is sort of the faction leader and god of the Order of Eathyron in Mythic Legions. Quick history on this character. Prior to Mythic Legions, the Four Horsemen were working on another action figure line called Gothotropolis. And in that line, they had a bunch of these Aarakocra bird people sort of a thing. And they ended up just taking those, rolling them into the Mythic Legions line, and releasing them as part of Eathyron's dozen, including Eathyron here himself. Recently, this figure has gotten pretty expensive on the secondary market. And a bit hard to find. I noticed this about a month ago when I was getting back into the Mythic Legions line. Luckily, I had a friend who has had this since day one when it came out, and he hooked it up to me for a fair price. However, if you're hunting for this guy, it's gonna run you closer to $200, maybe even $300 now in the aftermarket. A lot of people would be hoping for a re-release. However, there is a rumor going around that the mold that was used to create Eathyron was damaged. So if we do see a 2.0 version of this character, it's going to be different than this original figure. Probably. Either way, it's a pretty important character to the lore and just an awesome figure by itself. So because it's becoming a bit of a chase, a bit of a Mythic Legions grail piece, I figured we would take a look at it today, because I'm pretty lucky to have this thing in my collection. Thanks to my buddy who had it since day one sitting on his bookshelf. Now, what I'm going to do here is take it off the rotating display base, or stop it from rotating, and we will dive in for a closer look at the Crowned Eagle. Starting from the top of the head, we'll get in there. You can see it has really clean paintwork on the lines. This shiny metallic steel going into this bronze, again with the metallic. It reflects well for his crown. And then the white coming in through the back there. And it all contrasts very nicely with Eathyron's own gold feathery colors. Even getting into the mouth, you can see that they detailed his tongue. And the mouth is peeled back. It sort of looks like he's giving a war cry. Going here into the details of the armor. If we look here, you can see very similar to Egalis, I believe. There's a cityscape on the armor, and when you look closely, it looks like it might be a modern city, maybe an older city. There's birds flying around, and when you peel this armor up, there's actually a moon sort of a thing at the top there. Anyways, good detail. Clean paintwork throughout. Lots of stuff going on here on Eathyron's belt. Here we go. And also a unique sword. I believe the only time that this sword, Heaven's Brand, was released with another figure was with Sir Gideon Heaven's Brand. So Eathyron comes with this unique sword as well. Okay, now you will notice that I have this figure on a display stand that I've taken from another figure, and that's because, you know, this guy's expensive. I really don't want him to fall over. However, thanks to how wide his eagle feet are, he really doesn't fall over too much unless you have him in a somewhat dynamic pose. So let's get into articulation real quick. The head is on a ball joint that works very well, can go up to there, down to there, left, right, tons of tilt. Works great. There's joints back here for the wings. However, these are pretty loose. I have some blue tack in the socket to sort of help with that, but even my blue tack isn't enough, so I might have to put more in there. I was very sparing with how I did that. But the wings are on a ball, and then a hinge, like so, and then another swivel up here to sort of get those wings completely stretched out. And you can see that he has a pretty considerable wingspan when you move them completely out like that. Looks awesome. Very cool. For the most part, though, because my wing joints are a bit loose, I tend to just keep him tucked behind his back. Also, because he would take up a ton of room on display if I had those wings out like that all the time. The shoulders are pretty comparable to what you're going to get in Mythic Legions, I believe. Yep. It's just a ball going in there, and then a hinge. So that works good. You do have an upper bicep swivel, which is great. That is not something we get with your standard Mythic Legions. Again, these were based on a completely different mold. This is their Gothropolis articulation scheme. These figures were not made to be interchangeable with all the other figures like Mythic Legions are. So this guy's going to have some unique articulation, including a double jointed elbow, which is nice. Eathyron has a ton of range of motion. And then a hinge and swivel at the wrist. The torso is really reminiscent of Mythic Legions 2.0. So at the waist here, you have a swivel. And then up at the top there, you have a ball joint. Now let's see if we can dive in and maybe get a better look at the detailing. There, see that little moon in there? Yeah. But you have the hinge at the waist, and then a ball joint going up into the bottom of the diaphragm. Coming into the legs here, you have hinge and swivel hips. You have a swivel at the upper thigh, cut there. And then you have hinged knees and hinged knees at the bottom there. And then the hinge and swivel at the feet. This figure did come with multiple other feet. There was some claw gripping hands like that. But my buddy did not still have those, that's fine. I didn't really need them anyways. I probably would never have used them. So I'm not going to be able to show them off here in this review today. However, yeah, and that pretty much does it for this guy's articulation scheme. There's quite a few joints in it, a bit more than you're probably used to seeing from your average Mythic Legions figure, but really cool figure, really well done figure. I love the paint detailing going all the way throughout the arms of the figure. They really didn't shirk on much. It's that gold with a bit of a black wash going throughout it, which just brings out a ton of details. And the feathers, as you can see, go all the way through the hands, culminating in his little feathery fingers. Look at that. So it really does just look excellent. And a very unique character for Mythic Legions. I remember when this thing was available on BBTS, when I had just started purchasing Mythic Legions back in 2016, I think. And I passed on it because at the time it really wasn't for me. I wasn't into the whole Birdman motif that it had going on for it. So I passed on it. And then come now to 2021, and I'm back into Mythic Legions in a big way, army building. Got a couple of Templars and thought, you know what? these Templars, they need their god. So, again, I was really lucky to be able to make that trade with my buddy for the Crowned Eagle. He looks great in display. Now I need to find a Sir Gideon Heavensbrand to put with him. I think that'll be next. But I do have a Delphina coming, and she will look good next to the Crowned Eagle as one of his angels. One thing I don't think I've touched on yet is all this crazy stuff that he has going on in his belt. So let's look at that. I don't know what all this is. He has a hand thingy. He has a horn right here, which is cool, little detailed, just a little war horn. Going over here, he has some bones. And this, I'm not sure what that is. If that's supposed to be a hand grenade, or maybe it's supposed to be some string. And a little pouch over there. And this little detail right here for the buckle. But darn it, I cannot keep that sword in his hand. That's one of the things to be wary of, I guess. The sword does not fit super tightly in the hand, so I always bunch it up near towards the top. And that generally does it all right. But it is prone to wanting to fall out. Slide it in there one more time. There we go. Anyways, this is the Mythic Legions Eathyron. So I hope that if you are hunting down those older Mythic Legions grails, this review has helped you make a decision as to whether or not this is one that you want to commit to adding to your collection. Super cool figure, super unique design. It looks great with all your other Mythic Legions. But as to whether or not those aftermarket prices are really worth it, that's going to be up to you. So, yeah, anyways, thanks for watching this review. If I missed anything, feel free to get at me in the comments. We can get a dialogue going. Otherwise, stay happy, stay healthy, and keep on collecting. Bye-bye.